Nico's.
The year is 2020. It's September. We lose our king. And it really hits us hard. We get the announcement of Marvel Avengers finally being released. And through the passing of our king, we want to dive into this game, experience the Black Panther, live his legacy, and use our team that we love, the Avengers. Square Enix, Crystal Dynamics, and Eidos Montreal, they bring together our heroes. And after playing the beta, the future seems like it's going to be pretty good. We're told that we're going to get heroes every couple months, and that the Hawkeyes are coming, the Panther is coming, and if you're playing on PlayStation, Spider-Man is coming. The excitement was at an all-time high. Plenty of people were on the train for Avengers. It was looking like it was about to be the most exciting and fantastic thing we've ever got our hands on from a Marvel property. Then reality hit. Everything isn't as it seems. The game launches with game-breaking bugs, and we don't see our first hero until late November, which maybe we had unrealistic expectations to go look back and be like, oh my god, I can't believe it, we got a hero 2 months after launch. Now it's like, that was actually a good launch window. In retrospect, we shouldn't have said nothing about the Hawkeyes, because they actually came in presentable times. But we got our first DLC character in November, which was Kate. Then we get our second DLC character, expansion pass, which is going to be Clint Barton, and he comes out in March. And this is where we start experiencing the first sign of development delays from this studio. We get Tachyon Anomalies eventually in March as well, and which turns out that 2021 was going to be the year to define Avengers, unfortunately, because we get all the events in 1 year and they replay over and over and over again. Even to this date, we still haven't seen a new event. But yeah, so we get Clint in March, Kate came in November, and that's a 3-month window now. In retrospect, again, not that bad. But yeah, so it's a 3-month window. Heroes not coming as quickly as they promised us, and it looks to be that we're still gonna get some good stuff out of this, because then we get roadmaps. We are giving hope. Hope is a thing that you don't just give to people without an explanation. but we were given hope. And a roadmap was discussed and announced, actually. And it looks like the future is in great hands. The summer of 2021 was rough, but we hear there's a roadmap coming, there's a Black Panther coming, there is a patrol mode coming, Spider-Man's down the pipeline, new boss battle. It's looking like it's about to be sweet. Everyone who's anyone is ready to talk about this roadmap. We're all excited for the future of this game. Everyone is ready to roll. The first year of the game is about to be underway, and everything looks promising. But little did we know, looks can be deceiving. And sometimes things just don't work out. Nonetheless, we accept T'Challa. Our king has returned to Marvel. And reception was highly favorable. Wakanda looks great. The Panther plays and looks great. Everyone who was anyone was excited and ready for our king to come home. I mean, if there was any problem, in all honesty, if there was any situation where anyone was unhappy, it would be that this expansion, as it be, lacked playability outside of the campaign. And then that's where you really see what Crystal Dynamics' chops were. Their campaigns. Their initiative was at a point of being badly serviced. But this gave us our fourth and final event. We got the Vibranium event. At this point, we have our first OLT, thanks to the Hawkeyes. Cosmic Cube, single standalone boss battle, which is really cool, thanks to the Hawkeyes. And then we move into the Wakanda expansion, which gives us a Claw raid, but that's only later. And now we move on. It's November. A year is underway. We get Spider-Man, and we finally get the completion of the Wakanda expansion. We finally get the Claw raid. It's buggy as all hell. It's not serviceable. It's not playable. They know it. We know it. There's no reason to sit here and pretend that it wasn't a bad time. Spider-Man was cool. Hell yeah. If you owned a PlayStation. So yeah, if you're keeping tabs, the whole community really didn't get a new hero. Just one version. And everyone got a raid finally, but it's locked behind your power level, and it's locked behind, it just doesn't fucking work. Still no patrols. And the game, honestly, is not in a good state. It's looking like it's the end of the line. It's looking like it's time to pack it up. We're done here. Well, not necessarily. Now, although Claw Discordant Sound is buggy as all hell, and I've never finished it, by the time it actually got fixed, everyone I know kind of just got out of the game. Yeah, there's creators who are just latching on to this game for the simple fact that they can create whole communities around this game. But I've always put my channel as a sense of integrity as well as enjoyment, so I didn't stick with it. I played it, but I didn't create it. And that seemed to be the sentiments of the community at the time. Because the dynamics decided to take a shift. They decided that their finances was best spent elsewhere. And they got into a partnership with a little known company called Microsoft to help develop a little known game called Perfect Dark. And internally, they switched all their development to a little known franchise that some might know, some might not know. Called Tomb Raider. And we found ourselves in a situation where the game looks like it's going to be unserviceable. But then somewhere down the line, Brian Wagner, the man from Marvel Heroes, gets the opportunity to step up. It's unanimous in the whole community that Marvel Heroes was a game that everyone loved, everyone enjoyed, because we got our Marvel characters, we got our open world sandbox, we got the ability to upgrade them, we got the ability to level them, we got the ability to just go out there and explore the world with these Marvel characters. And yes, I was an early adapter of Marvel Heroes, and my greatest years of gaming comes from Marvel Heroes. So I too am one of those people that would put it on a pedestal as the Holy Grail. Realistically, once this game moved to console, it couldn't keep up with its development cycle, and it fell apart. But with the roster that it boasted, and the amount of characters that it had, because of that roster, but as villains that you could fight against, as mobs and organizations you could fight against, even now today, it is the definitive and the best way to have ever experienced the Marvel Universe through gaming. That's me including Spider-Man, that's me including Ultimate Alliance, that's me including X-Men Legends, which people know if you watch the channel, those are my holy grails. I'm just gonna say it's the best way to experience the universe. It's not the best game, but it's the best way to experience the universe. And Avengers is supposed to be a way to experience the universe. So Brian decides to make changes. Give us a new UI. He gives us reworked systems. He gives us the shipments mechanics, which was genius. And it's looking like a good time to watch Avengers. Not really play it, but definitely a good time to watch it. See how the progress goes. See how this game matures. See if it's going to do a course correction. And because of those faithful who stuck with it and used their wallet, because yes, are the practices of these skins, MCU skins, being flushed over and over and over again annoying? Yes, but the more people pay for them, you know, the more this game has money to add things to the studio, to do different things. And that seems to have worked, because we finally got our first hero. Our first hero. I'm not going to say since Spider-Man, because they don't include Spider-Man. We got our first hero since Black Panther, with Mighty Jane Foster. Now, there's playing hard to get, and then there's this. 10 months. 10 months. The player base did not get a new hero for 10 months. And if you tell me we got Spider-Man in November, and I should just omit this 10-month withdrawal for Xbox and PC, I say that you really don't care about this community. Because in truth, we didn't get a character for 10 fucking months. That was the biggest drought. To think that this game survived it is solely on you. It's solely on you, the viewer of this video. It's solely on you, the player of this game. Because this game should have been dead. But you kept it going. We kept it going. And the devs finally agree. And they tried to give us what we wanted. They're trying to give us what we want. And that brings me to now. Today, August 21st, 2022. We have finally got additions to the game. We are now with Jane, and now we're going to have even more heroes. We're going to get Winter Soldier in 2.7, 2.6 in September. No release date, by the way. Which I'm assuming that we're going to get 2.6 either anniversary date of the game or after D23. Anniversary date is the 4th. D23 is the 9th for gaming. So we're either going to get it then or we're going to get it after. And what's 2.6? What are we getting in 2.6? Well, 2.6, we're getting a new Warzone and we're fighting Monica again. Yes, insert meme here. I also agree with you. But it's leading into something new and exciting. We're also finally getting Clone Labs. Now, it's not really clear if Clone Labs are becoming before or after the 2.6. But 2.7 seems to be Winter Soldier in MODOK. So in 2.6 would be Jane Foster in Clone Labs, it looks like. Because we got Jane in 2.5, 2.6 basically. And we haven't really received any other additions. Or is Jane basically 2.5? That is still debatable. But yes, we are looking at finally getting Clone Labs. This was leaked when the game first came out, and we haven't seen any footage or any mention or anything actually since that day. And it's finally coming. We're finally getting Clone Labs. There's talk of patrol mode being worked on with 2.7, so we could probably see it at 2.8, which, you know, 2.7, honestly, if they go back to the original release window, I could see 2.7 coming in November. Because you pay close attention even through this video, I mentioned that the first hero came in November. Spider-Man came in November of last year. So dropping something November of this year just kind of keeps with their launch window. Only thing they didn't do this year was drop a hero or villains or anything like that in March because of, you know, the complete game overhaul. Now, I went through, say, all of this for this state of the game to get a real good rundown on what Marvel's Avengers is today versus what it was. Marvel Avengers is fully playable now. If you haven't played the game, there's a good bajillion things to do. If you are a returning player to the game, you have content currently and content for the future to look forward to. And if you've always been on the fence, now it's finally free on PlayStation Extra and Xbox Game Pass. So there's no time like the present to finally jump into the game. And as of recording this, I believe on Steam the game is actually still marked down on price. So it fetch you some pretty easy units to get in. This is the time to get back into Avengers. I mean, their selection of heroes is, you know, what the fans wanted. The fans wanted Winter Soldier. For whatever fucking reason, they wanted Winter Soldier. I'm going to, yes, die on the hill that Winter Soldier is not lame, but he's not the coolest person they could have added. And it's just like, to me, oh, great. Another character with a gun. Awesome. Sweet. Another karate character. You have all these characters you can do. You could have did War Machine. You could have did Falcon, but this video is not about that. There'd be a video where I think should be future additions to the game. That'll come. But yeah, we're getting Clone Labs. And Clone Labs coming right now, I think, is probably a good way to retake the direction of the game. If we're going to cap off the AIM story before we go into year 3 of the game and finally do something about this Kree invasion, which originally they planned this game to last 3 to 5 years, and this is technically will line up with the timeline if they do this right. It's something to get into now finally and play. So there's that. You finally get the opportunity to close this chapter by defeating Clone Labs, by defeating AIM, by defeating MODOK. They can introduce another big bad. Will it be the Kree? Will we just straight up do the whole Kree thing? Maybe, maybe not. Time will tell. But as of this point of the game, it's time to put a cap on it. Marvel Avengers game, overall for me, its grade over its 2-year history, it's gonna be a B. I honestly think that's the most generous score I can give it, is by giving it a B. Because at first, it launched pretty bad. The content rollout was actually way better than we gave it credit for, so we really do owe them an apology. Even if you take the wait from March to August from Hawkeye to BP, that wasn't that long considering BP to Jane Foster. But the game content isn't full. It's just finally getting itself fleshed out, and it's 2 years after the game launched. And this is a game that promised being a live service game. It's not a single campaign game. If you look at it as a single campaign game with additional post-launch content, then yeah, it's an amazing game. For that, you got a whole fleshed out story and 3 fleshed out expansions with free heroes outside of the expansions and additional villains. If you look at it as that, then the game was successful. But that's not what this game was. And that was the issue. This game said, I'm a live service game. We have a standalone campaign, but we'll give you hours and hours of heroes and villains fighting to satisfy your Avengers need, with different biomes and locations to explore the world with factions and this or that or the third. And it wasn't true. It was a fable. It was marketing. And that's the issue. That is the core issue of the 2 years this game has been out. That is finally, over this year, over the last 4 months, finally has developed into the promise of launch. That was a failure, a mishandling of Crystal Dynamics. Like I said, a B is just passing in my book. You did enough to recover, and now I look forward to your future work. But I do not forget the mess of a fucking game you were. And nor should any of us. We need to continue to hold them accountable so this development doesn't go back to being cheesy and trash. So yeah, as of August 21st, 2002, Marvel Avengers game is a game to look forward to playing in a crazy release window of a late of the year. It has found a way to have developments of hype as well as produce new content with hours of replayability and set itself apart from the future releases of the year. Can it keep it up? Can it deliver 2.7 before the end of the year? Will it be playable? Will it be able to hold its own? Yet to be seen. Guess we'll just have to revisit this in the next State of Play and see where this game is after the end of the year. But as of right now, Brian Wagner and the development team at Crystal Dynamics, you crazy sons of bitches, you did it. You recovered and brought your game back. And for that, I commend you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you have a good day, and